Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am Anna, and today we're starting with a little bit of a bare face because we're going to be doing a kind of shop my stash, get ready with me video. I pulled some products that I haven't touched in forever, and I thought it'd be fun just to create a look and hang out and chit chat, catch up on life, all of that jazz. So that's what we're doing today. So I've got stuff from ABH, Bobbi Brown, Elf, Clinique, L'Oreal, Physicians Formula, a little bit everything by Terry. We're all over the place, high end, low end, whatever, and just stuff that I haven't put on my face recently. So yeah, I just want to play. So let's get into it. I'm gonna start out with a little bit of skin prep. We're gonna use the Shiseido Revitaliscent Skin Glow. This is an SPF 25 and a primer in one, and this gives the skin just a nice little hydrated glow. I did my skincare quite a bit earlier today, so this will be just right for a bit more of a boost of hydration and all of that. And it's kind of getting later in the evening right now, and I'm not going outside, so I'm not too concerned about the SPF. I've already got my brows filled in with the CoverGirl little nano pencil and some of the Got2b gel. So yeah, okay. For lips, I'm gonna go ahead and put on some of my Milani Bombshell Keep It Full Max, just as a little lip prep step. This also hydrates and plumps the lips. I'm gonna go ahead and get the eyelids prepped. I'm taking a little bit of the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer. This is pretty much about done, so we're using it today because it's probably gonna be the last day it gets used. And I'm gonna just prep my lids with this to blank them out. I'm not super concerned about longevity today because, like I said, it's kind of later in the day as it is. And yeah, we're gonna use this just to blank the lids out. If I was worried about longevity, I would have put a primer underneath. I'm just going to dinner tonight, so that's about it. Just clean things up a little bit around the brow. There we go. So hopefully we're back to our regularly scheduled programming around here. I know I've been like kind of missing like an entire week at a time. Things got unexpectedly busy on top of being expectedly busy. Like I had a kind of a busy season there for a month straight busy. And it just kind of continued over into May unexpectedly. So, yeah, that was unintentional of missing some videos there. But I've been trying to kind of supplement in short form. Because I had a lot of short form just that I forgot to post, and I finally remembered, oh yeah, I can just schedule all this to go up and just bulk do this in one go. So that's kind of what I did there. So there's been a lot of short form going up on my other social media, Instagram and Facebook and all that, and I've been trying to remember to put on here too. I'm going to dust a little bit of the By Terry powder over top just to lock that in. This is the By Terry Hydra Powder. We're just going to dust a little bit of that over just to give us a nice little set lid. It has been a crazy month and a half. Just lots of changes and things happening, and oh boy, I don't even know where to start. We bought a Tesla. We had to drive to Florida to get it. So that was a little adventure. We went all the way to Pensacola in a rental and took an Uber to the dealership and got the car and just like hope for the best that it was there and ready to go. And yeah, we got there and it's right there in the parking lot just looking at us with our name on it. So that was pretty exciting. What a seamless process truly that was, aside from having to drive to Florida because Louisiana has weird state laws. It was a very seamless process and enjoyable process. Okay, now we're gonna go in on the eyes here with the Jane Iredale Bronze Eyeshadow Stick, which is so funny is because I was just listening to Nikki LaRose do her spring cleaning video. We were just listening to it and had already had this pulled out, and she was using it on her eyes as well. Me and her, I swear, are on the same wavelength. Me, her, and Emily Noel. I'm like, are we like just like reading each other's minds? It's so weird. Anyway, we're gonna take this on the lid. Yeah, buying a Tesla is a very, very seamless process. We got a Model 3. So not the craziest one, but is the refreshed version and like kind of new on the interior. So it looks really pretty. It's got the nice like LED strip going around that you can change colors of. It's a fun car. It is so much fun. We got a trial of full self-driving, which was crazy. So we used that, played with it. That was good fun. My dad very much enjoyed riding with us in it on a couple of road trips. We've already taken multiple road trips, and it's we've had it not even a month. Maybe, yeah, coming up on a month, we've had it. We've gone on multiple road trips. But I really enjoyed Pensacola also. We had a wonderful dinner at a little Italian place. I'm just buffing this out on those edges. I'm going to go in with like a matte eyeshadow. I really enjoy putting a shimmer like this under a matte eyeshadow. I think it looks really pretty. And we're going to jump over to the Norvina palette from ABH, the OG Norvina. And I'm going to go with 2 shades from within here. Maybe 3. We'll see. Maybe more. I don't know. For sure, we're going to use Eccentric and Passion. These 2 right here. I know, it totally looks like fall. That's what I'm in the mood for. I need a moody eye look, so that's what we're doing. It might take a little bit of this guy up here, base just across the brow bone quickly. Anyway, I very much enjoyed Pensacola. It has such a nice chill vibe, like very laid back. It reminds me of where I live, just with a beach and a little bigger, but it felt very welcoming and warm and cozy. There was something about it that I just really liked and just was like, this is a nice place. I don't know, just I got good feelings about it there. Anyway, let's take Eccentric, which is that kind of weird amber color. We're gonna bring that through the socket. Didn't get to do a ton while we're there. Like I didn't go downtown, so like where the beach area is, the historic district, which I wanted to do, but we did not have time because I did need to get back home because my dad was been sick, so I didn't want to be gone, you know. My in-laws came up and stayed with Pumpkin, and we're here just in case something went wrong, you know. But he was in the hospital at that time, which was the best place for him to be. You know, he was being monitored. Actually, no, he was home. They released him, and when we were on the way back, he went back to the hospital, which I'll tell you about that in a second. They released him Easter Day, actually. Just gonna build this up in the socket. But it was a really fun trip. Aside from kind of worrying about that, we went to big old Buc-ee's. I might have spent like $300 in there. I bought a bunch of like bee stuff. They had some cute bee home decor. And I bought snacks and I bought like things for people. You know how it is when you go to a Buc-ee's. You can't not. So that was fun. We stayed in a cute little Courtyard Marriott, like a brand new one, so it was like super nice. It had a Starbucks in it, very convenient. Yeah, everything felt very convenient on this trip and just cool. Like there was so much to do within where we were. We didn't have to like trek all over the place. Anyway, yeah, and we've never driven a Tesla before this. Didn't know what we were doing, you know, like so didn't know like all the ins and outs. Like my husband's test drove one a while back, but you know, to get on a like 6-hour road trip in a car here that is completely different than what you're used to. We had a base model Dodge Challenger you know, nothing, no frills, into a fully electric computer on wheels, just like a tablet. It was wild and so much fun, and just, it's so much fun. So we did that, and then, all right, now I'm going to switch to this is a detailed blending from Sigma. We're going to go over to Passion, which is our kind of burgundy brown. So after that, though, we got back home. Finally, my dad got to see his doctor after more and more tests were run. He had this heart cath, CTs, x-rays, you name it. Every test on the sun, they couldn't find what was wrong until they did a plain old x-ray and saw that the leads of his pacemaker were all out of whack. So he ended up getting sent to a specialist in Baton Rouge, 2 hours southwest. That sorted out. But in between there, we had to take a trip to Tyler, Texas, to a service center to get a bumper replaced because there was a gap, like a factory defect. So they fixed that. But while we were there, we got to drive a Cybertruck, a Model 3, and a Model S. So much fun. The Model S, oh my gosh, pure luxury. Wonderful experience. I mean, it's a very expensive car, so of course. And the Cybertruck was just fun, but it's so goofy and so bulky. I felt silly in it. 'Cause it's a silly looking truck. I think we can all admit that. They're silly looking, and they're fun. So we got to drive one around for a minute, though, so that was pretty cool. But it's a lot. Like, it's big. It feels so much bigger than you think it is, and inside it is just massive feeling. And you just feel like you feel like you're in a spaceship. And like the sound it makes this, it sounds like a jet engine taking off. It is so weird. The windshield wiper alone is like 4 feet long. It is ridiculous. It is the craziest thing. But it is a lot of fun if you get a chance to ever test drive one. It's just fun just to do. And just to see the interior. Like, I was just so intrigued by it. I was like, please, can we drive this? And they're like, sure, go ahead. So they let us like borrow whatever car we wanted to test drive. And they're like, go get lunch, go shopping, go do. You don't have to sit here all day. Like, okay. So we explored Tyler, Texas that day. Looks about like where I live. You know, it wasn't anything too crazy. It looks a lot like kind of where I'm from, so it wasn't too bad. We ate at a Cheddar's. That was delicious. We were gonna go, I think, to either Sephora or Ulta, but then the car was ready. And we got caught a tornado while we were there, so that was fun. Well, I mean, we were in it, but it was happening while we were there, so that was crazy. We got like the seek shelter immediately morning. Yeah, and then the weather cleared up. They're like, you want to go test drive some vehicles? Okay. Tyler's not very far of a drive for me, so it wasn't too bad. I've just never been there. But yeah, not a bad place. Lots and lots of restaurants and, options as far as that goes. I really think I liked Pensacola better. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was just something about the energy there. The people. Everyone seemed happy. That was my first time actually going to Florida. And we drove along, like the whole Gulf Shores. That was really cool. Getting to see all that. Yeah. And then we had to go to Baton Rouge with my dad twice. And the second time was for him to have heart surgery, which ended up not being as invasive or as much as planned. But he did have to stay the night. So we stayed at a hotel just down the road from him, like almost in walking distance of the hospital. So that was pretty cool. I don't recommend actually walking though, because traffic is insane. Out of the whole drive to like Pensacola and Tyler, the worst traffic we ran into was in Baton Rouge. That place is just an absolute nightmare of traffic. There's no reason for it to have that much traffic. Like, I guess the state capitol, but dang. His surgery stuff was at a hospital called Our Lady of the Lake. And that hospital, a 10 out of 10. Like, I'm very impressed. Like, that is a well-oiled machine. There's no delays. There's none of this, like, maybe we'll get to it today. No. They say they're going to do something, they do it. There's none of these, like, just everything was organized and just seamless. It was such a seamless experience, which my experience with hospitals is not like that. Usually it's just kind of a pain in the butt. And, well, maybe you'll get seen today. I don't know. Maybe you'll go home. No, this place, they knew what they were doing. They got it done. Like, while my dad was in surgery, you give them your phone number and they call you throughout the entire procedure and give you updates throughout. They called me like 4 times, let me know what was going on. I've never had a doctor, like a hospital, do that. And the waiting room, so nice. And there was a CC's coffee, there was a Panera bread, there was a Subway, there was a Smoothie King, and something else around the corner. Like, it was like being in an airport more than it was like being in a hospital. And everything was very like futuristic, beautiful little courtyard. But man, what a system. The only like kind of complaint I had was just like doors would be locked at certain hours and you had to like go around and stuff. And then they were doing like some construction and we had to like walk a little extra, which is not fun when you're in pain and on a cane. And the hotel we stayed in, very nice. Oddly, the most affordable hotel I could find. Still nearly $400. But the most affordable hotel I could find. Very nice. And busy. My goodness, it was a good thing I booked a room like 2 days in advance. And didn't just hope they had one. Because I guess there was like, I don't know if there was like some kind of conventions going on or what. But there was a lot of people and they were ready to party. Cool. And you see like that shimmer from the pencil is like peeping through. I think that looks so pretty and gives a very kind of complex look. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Dreamer, I think, or Summer. Let me swatch for a minute. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of the shade called Summer on a small little brush here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that here on the center. But yeah, it's just been like go, go, go. And in between that, we went and stayed with my husband's parents. And I got baptized with their pastor. So that was exciting. And people from our church up here came down to it. And it was just very thoughtful and meaningful. And I didn't expect them to do that. And they did. And like a pastor from here came down. So that was a very special weekend. And this coming weekend, we're being confirmed at our local church as members. We went through catechism and all that. I'm going to take just a touch of Dreamer in her corner, which is that just light champagne color. That is this one right here. All right, I'm going to take a little bit more Passion just to blend right here. She was married into our Summer shade. Okay. I'm just going to grab a brown liner. This one is from NYX. I'm going to go ahead and get this lined. The tight line. A little darkness along the lash line. Now let me check, see if we got any fallout. It didn't look like I had too much or any, but you know, I say that, but then I can swipe the Q-tip and be like, oh, looky there. There's plenty of fallout. But yeah, between all of that and then when I'm home, I was like exhausted. It's like, when do I even have time to sit down and do this? It's like finding the time and the energy to film. Oof. It's been rough. And then also just trying to figure out how to manage stress has been a new challenge for me. Because I've been a lot more stressed out lately because there's been so much going on, so much like to worry about that I'm just like the stress has been getting to me. So that's been a thing, and I got put on blood pressure medicine because of that. Also, well, because high blood pressure, which is not crazy high, but you know, not great either. Let's take some of the e.l.f. Halo Glow. So I'm adjusting to that, and so far so good, I guess. I've had some days where it's lower, but I was pretty significantly stressed. But yeah, I gotta have an echo done next month, and potentially a beta blocker. Not sure yet on that. I haven't used this in a while, so I was like, you know what? Let's pop a little bit of this on. I'm just gonna keep this to the perimeter. Yes, I still am using a shade too deep for me, but that is okay. There we go. But if you guys have any tips for managing stress, let me know that. I was a little bit of trouble with anxiety too recently, just not too like, yeah, just feeling like I've been on edge, like on the verge of a panic attack. But I really think it's just because I was worried about my dad's surgery and all that stuff, because I feel significantly better now that it's over and everything went well. Yeah, I let myself also get really worked up over stuff that really shouldn't matter also, and I should be over and thought I was over and forgiven, and apparently I'm not. So also, yeah, you know, just I was having a moment of feel like regressing into a stressful, bitter person for a minute there, and you're like, you need to get out of this, okay? Snap out of it. Which is easier said than done. And what I found that has been incredibly helpful, though, is Psalm 51. Reading that bad boy sure has helped, because I've had a lot of anger kind of brewing, some old residual anger that has resurfaced. I'm taking the Smashbox Always On and just being like, girl, you know, there's no reason for me to still be dwelling on these things. I thought I was over them, and apparently it doesn't take much though for like it to just come back with vengeance and be like fresh again. So, you know, I mean, I know forgiveness is something that's never done. You're always kind of in that act of forgiving, but I sure wish it was easier to forget. Like, I feel like I can forgive things, but I have a hard time forgetting that part of it. It's very hard. And then, it, you know, and to me, maybe that signals not true forgiveness. And maybe sometimes I was thinking, I was like, okay, maybe we need to marinate in this for a minute, work through what it is I'm mad about, talk it through with myself here, and let it out kind of internally a little bit, like let it out with God, basically, talk about it. And it did make me feel better doing that. Kind of helped me put it in perspective, I guess. I mean, obviously not perfect and not done. It's still a process, and I still like woke up today still like, wait a minute, you know, kind of that thing. But it was something I thought I was kind of over. I guess I'm not, and just finding new things to get mad about, which is so fun. Probably should actually talk to my deaconess or pastor about this. It might be that kind of territory. But, you know, and we're human. I try to remember that, and emotions like this happen. We kind of can't help it. We're messy, fallen little creatures, and not to get mad at myself for feeling things. And it's not like I'm truly like really regressing or something. It's just feeling that way. It's feeling like I backslid, and like maybe some mental progress I made on that front. You know, and these feelings are maybe not so much forgiven as they were just put in a box, or these things, and I need to sit with them a little more and actively try harder to move on from it and not let it eat me up. Because it was getting to the point where it was like starting to like, you know, dwelling a little too much. Like when it's the first thing I thought of, like when I wake up. Okay, you know, it's a problem. And still trying to realize there's only so much I can do about aspects of the situation that I need to let go and just try to find a way that's healthy to deal with said situation. I don't want to like get into detail about all that, but it's just family stuff, you know. You know how that be. Frustrating. Family stuff can be the worst sometimes. Okay, now we're gonna do a little contour. We're gonna use the Halo Glow Contour Beauty Wand. Just add some sculpt in. I always squeeze up too much with these wands. It's like impossible not to. So I'm just gonna take a little bit right in here. Add a bit of shadow. I know that looks harsh. I'm gonna blend it out a little better. Just getting product on. Isn't human emotion fun and unpredictable? And I'm like, what is this is a part of me that's been like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so feeling? And just worked up, like high strung. I mean, obviously there's stressful things going on, but I feel particularly wound up. So I was like, okay, I think I need to really take a step back here and work on this. All right, now I'm gonna take a little bit of this Clinique contour stick, chubby stick, and this is more of a bronzer shade. We're just gonna take a little bit of this to bring some warmth in now. So I'm gonna take it on my brush here, like this. Work it into my hand. And we're gonna just bring a little warm flush in. But yeah, maybe if you guys have any tips on working on forgiveness and not ruminating on things, that would be helpful. So far I've just been reading Psalm 51 to myself a lot, which really truly does help. Like, yeah, I'm not sure how I would manage if I didn't have that right now, honestly. Forehead, got my 5 head. Today I woke up and I felt much better overall. Like, yeah, a little. If I've let myself start ruminating, I think it's for some reason all these fussy emotions are very top of the surface right now about particular things, and it's like, why is this back? This stuff that's 20 years old practically. Where is this coming from? All right, we're gonna take some of the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand blush in the shade Rosé You Slay. We're gonna take that onto the cheeks. Just kind of under blush, under paint here. Kind of sandwich, rather, is what I like to call it. Sandwiching my creams and powders. Yeah, but do you have a favorite song for when you're upset and stressed feeling and aggravated, feeling like you're like about to snap? Let me know. I felt very like on edge, and just, it wasn't gonna take much for me to just explode, to the point where I had to like remove myself at one point. I'm like, what? Why am I like this right now? I don't know. Am I perimenopausal? Maybe. Could be. But yeah, that was something. And I don't like being like that at all. Like it makes me upset with myself feeling that way. All right, now we're gonna take the concealer again, the Physicians Formula, and this is one of those you don't hardly need any of because it's so full coverage, but I've made a good dent here. Like, it's about done, and I just feel like it's gotten a bit old. It's probably time to let it go, but this is a wonderful concealer. I don't know, I might hang on to it a little longer. I tell you, someone else who's been amazing though through all this stress and stuff has been my husband. He has taken off work to help out, and even on his birthday but to drive everyone everywhere and all of that. These last, well, year really, my goodness. All right, just taking my foundation brush again, just make sure everything is nice and flowing well together. There, we're also want to brighten just a little. And there we go. Now let's set things down with some powder. I'm going to use the By Terry powder on the under eye. This is the By Terry Hydra powder. Such a wonderful powder. And again, it's one that I just don't use as much as I should. I think I've tried not to use it as much because I like it so much and it's expensive. And I think I want to like preserve it. One of those things where like you're like I'm like delicate with it. Okay, still one of the most blurring powders ever, and just invisible on the skin powders. Amazing. Just amazing. Look at that. What pores. What pores. Alright, rest of the face, we're going to dust a little bit of Kosas Cloud Set in Airy. Now, let's jump back to the under eyes. I'm going to grab my pencil again, my bronze from Jane Iredale, and we'll run that across the lower lash line. And I'm gonna use a little brush here, just a little brush, and we're gonna take just some of Passion and run that on the outer corner. Cool, and that's the eyes done. I love the way that came out. Now for the rest of the face, for powder, blush, bronze, and highlight, I'm going to jump over to this Hourglass palette. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Mini Sculpture Unlocked is what this edition was. So we're going to use the bronzer, blush, and the highlight from here, and I might mix in a little bit of the finishing powder with the bronzer just to kind of soften it. So we'll start with the bronzer, and that is Golden Bronze Light, and we'll use a little bit of that. I'm going to take it on a little smaller brush here, and I'm going to swirl into both of those. And again, we'll just continue to warm up the complexion a little bit. And take some of that bronzer just from the eye, like that. Okay. And we'll do the blush, which is, actually we're going to go over to the highlighter first before the blush. That is Champagne Strobe Light, and we're going to take some of that on the high points. So I'm just going to take that actually on a fluffy brush to get a light amount, because it is very, very strong. Right, and then we'll take the blush. It's called Mood Flush. Tap a little bit wherever's left. Nose and forehead for some cohesiveness. Okay, and I think that will be the complexion complete. Let's do a little mascara. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift and curl my lashes quickly. Now, let's do lips and finish this off. I'm going to go with a Milani Understatement lip liner in Shoop. It's just a brown lip liner. You can find this color from multiple brands and also from Milani in a different shade name. But it's a very just generic brown lip liner. See? It's a warm brown. Alright, now we're going to take Melt Cosmetics matte lipstick. It's a little mini here in the shade Frisky. It's just pretty kind of peachy nude. Nothing special, it's just I like this color and I forgot I had it because it's so small. But why not? Might as well use it. If it's pretty and I like it, I'm gonna use it. And now I'm gonna top that off with a little bit of gloss from Bobbi Brown. This is the Crushed Oil Gloss in Free Spirit. And of course, everything we use today is listed below, as always. And there are affiliate links. And if you shop through those, thank you. If you don't, it's okay. It's okay. I just think of it as a win-win of them being there. Anyway, okay, here's our look complete. Do you guys want to see another look with the Norvina palette? Because the colors in here are just gorgeous. And I feel like I could just keep playing with it. I don't know if this is still available. I don't think it is. But if you have it, maybe you got some inspiration today. And if you want to see more looks with it, let me know. Because it's fun to use these older palettes and get some use out of them. Because clearly, like, I mean, look how, like, it still looks brand new almost. So, yeah. Okay. And, I forgot how nice this little chubby stick is. It's good from Clinique. You do, I mean, it's warm, but it's a really good summer bronzer type of color. So I enjoy that, and I really still very much love the Smashbox Always On foundation. Everything performed great today, and it was fun to kind of go back into my makeup collection and be reminded of some stuff that I haven't used in a minute on my face. So yeah. Let me know down below if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, whatever. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. Bye now.